Today we're going to be talking about designer decorating secrets, all those little pro tips that make designer spaces look polished and look well designed. So we're going to start with the number one question that I get most often is, where do you get your inspiration from? The answer to that is everywhere. I get my inspiration from nature, from flowers. We'll be walking through a botanical garden and I'm snagging pictures on my phone just because I think this flower looks pretty. Why does it look pretty? Because I love the color of it, or I love the shape of it. Or I'll take a picture of a piece of fabric because I love the texture and the nubbiness of it. Or I'm taking pictures of architecture or fashion, or I'm screen shooting pictures on my phone because I like little elements that are maybe in a room that another designer had done. The pro tip here is I keep all of these in my phone in a file called Inspo. So when I'm feeling like I have creative block, or I'm designing a space for either myself or somebody else, I've got those to go back to and kind of scroll through all of my little inspiration photos, and not to copy it, but to look and say, ooh, I remember that. I liked that because I really liked the detail that they did on the ceiling. Or I really liked that flower because I loved the color in it. Or I really liked that outfit because I liked the way the textures and the colors all blended together. And I use all of those inspiration pieces and bring them together to create a design for a space. Another secret tip is keep dimensions of spaces or items on your phone. In a quick note, just label it home dimensions or home measurements. And you can divide it by rooms. If, say, you're trying to find a rug for your living room, you want to know the size of your living room so that you know what size of rug you're looking for while you're out shopping. Or say you've got a piece of artwork that you just love at home, but it needs a new frame. Well, having those dimensions on your phone all the time, you can, as you're out and about shopping or thrifting, you've got those dimensions on your phone so that you're ready to go, no second guessing, you know exactly the size you need. I do not know how many times people have come into this very shop and said, oh, I love that. What are the dimensions? I need to go check at home to see if it's gonna fit. And then they come back and poof, it's gone because somebody else came and bought it underneath them. If you have these things ready on the go while you're out shopping in smaller boutiques like this, or you're out shopping in an antique shop where you're looking at things that are maybe one of a kind or discontinued, you know you can snag it up because you know whether it's gonna fit while you're out and about. Another pro tip is having a cohesive color palette in your home. You want to avoid having the crayon box home. You don't want a room to be a certain color just because that's what that specific person's favorite color is. You want to think about how all the colors work together in the house. When in doubt, and you don't know what color story to do, purchase your rug in your main living space first. If you purchase your rug first, you have the color story going on in the rug to draw from. So you may have this pale sea salt color be your main color on your walls. You may want your furniture to be the lighter creams, and maybe have pops of the gold and the orangey tones in artwork and other accessories in the room and pillows. So a rug is a perfect place to start in building that color story. There is a topic that can't be avoided, we must discuss, and that is purchasing furnishings that fit the room. This is a mistake that I see so often. So the pro tip is make sure you're purchasing furnishings that aren't too large or too small for the space. Rugs are the biggest area that I see this mistake. Just because it's cheaper, don't go smaller. The rule is if a rug is in a space, your furnishings, your furniture pieces that are on the floor should be either semi on the rug or fully on that rug. That's the best rule. Buying a rug, I understand that rugs can be expensive, but I'm telling you, it's worth it to go bigger. Things just don't look put together or complete if you've got this dinky little rug and the only thing on it is the coffee table. You really want to anchor those pieces. Your rug is the anchor of the space. Also, be careful that your furniture isn't too big or too small for the space as well. In a bedroom, you want to make sure that all of your doors can function, all your dressers can function with that bed in place. Sure, we may all like to sleep in a king-size bed, but if it doesn't fit the room, it doesn't fit the room. Cozy up and sleep in the queen. Same with the living room. You don't want furniture to overpower the space. You can get, if you want big, comfy, cozy, you can get that look, but do it in a way that's appropriate for the room so that you can still get around, you have nice pathways, and not everything is squished and tied up against the walls. Another pro tip, designers use mirrors. Utilizing mirrors in spaces that maybe feel small or closed in or a little dark. Mirrors are perfect for reflecting the room and making them look larger as well as brighter. You can place mirrors in narrow hallways to make the hallway look a little wider. If you have a short, narrow hallway, you may want to add a large mirror at the end to make that hallway look a little longer. Adding larger mirrors in bedrooms or in a small bathroom, adding a larger mirror in a small bathroom instead of a small framed mirror will really reflect that space and make it look twice as big as it actually is. Lighting is a great opportunity to take a space from just being your average room to elevating it to look more high design. Layering your lighting with can lights, chandeliers, lamps are a perfect way to do this. Say you have a space with just that center cone-shaped ceiling light fixture right in the middle of the room. Our bedroom was one of these rooms, so was our TV room. And we've switched out those light fixtures and added a chandelier over the bed instead and a cool kind of hanging, dangling light fixture in the TV room. And these just gave an extra element of style. Chandeliers and lamps are a perfect opportunity to elevate the look by adding style. Put all of your light fixtures, can lights, chandeliers, lamps on dimmer switches so that you have complete control over what mood the space has. Say it's game night and your living room's full of people and you're playing bunco or playing some kind of game. You really want things nice and bright and you want everything just on full power. But say you're having an evening dinner party and you kind of need to tone down the mood. Adding those dimmers allows you to do this. When you're thinking about your light fixtures, think about their purpose. Do you need them for task, or is their purpose more for style? Our lamps in the dining room, their purpose is more for style. We already have can lights, we have the chandelier, both are on dimmers. We don't really need the lamps, but look at the cool effect that those lamps do on the wall. They wash light up and down, and it's just kind of a warm glow that they add to the space. These lamps are always on in the evening. We have them on timers so that when it gets dark, those lamps pop on. So in the evening time, we have this cool effect in the space, and then they pop off at 11 o'clock in the evening so that we don't even have to think or worry about them. If you've got little accent lamps, think about timers for those as well. It's inexpensive, it's something that you don't have to think about, but it really does add a cool look to the room. For your light bulbs, pro tip for a room that you want to feel warm and cozy, stay away from the daylight bulbs. Those light bulbs are perfect for your workshop or your craft room, sometimes the bathroom, where you're trying to get something accomplished. You need that bright light to do a job. In all other applications, those bright, cool lights aren't doing anything for the space. Go for more of those warmer lights where it casts a little bit of that warmer glow. Let's talk artwork. Now, when you're selecting artwork, you want to stay within the color palette of the room or make this your accent piece into the room, a piece that draws your eye and adds interest. But let's also think about size. If you have a large vertical space, you want a vertical size piece of art. If you have a large horizontal wall, you want a larger horizontal piece of art. Or even do groupings of artwork to create larger spaces. Don't be afraid to hang your artwork a little lower. A big mistake, big tip here, don't hang your artwork too high. Most do. Be careful not to hang your art too high. It's okay. In this instance, our art hangs slightly below the chair. This is okay because it gives it that more designer look by becoming one with the look of this space, with this grouping. It becomes one with the group itself instead of a separate piece hanging up on the wall. Also, in relation to size, we want to be careful not to hang a piece of art that's either too small or too large for the object it may be hanging above or on the wall it's hanging on. This piece of art is perfect for the size of cabinet that we have down below. Your artwork should be about either half or 3/4 the size of the piece that it's underneath. The idea here is you don't want this shrinky-dinky little piece of art hanging over this very long cabinet. And reverse of that, you don't want the artwork hanging beyond the edges of the cabinet itself. Are you a collector? Is there something that you just love every time you see it, or it brings a smile to your face every time you look at it? Collections are great at home, but don't go crazy. Collections can start to look, well, cluttered if overdone. My husband's a collector. James loves anything automotive, any automobilia, anything to do with cars. So he has a very big collection, but he's displayed it in a way, even though this is a lot of stuff, he still has more to go, but more to go to put up, but he has everything organized and put together in a way that isn't cluttered. You can see every single piece that's on the shelf. Every piece of his collection has a home. And he has every piece displayed in a way that's pleasing to the eye. So keep this in mind with your collections. I love to collect blue glass. My collection is also displayed in a way that's pleasing to the eye. When you're doing these displays of collections, think about it's the collection you want to draw the attention to. So if you have a lot of brightly colored items like James does, then maybe a darker shelf and darker background are perfect. I like to collect blue glass, so for me, anything where there's lots of light or a lighter background, those collections are going to show up better. Another designer tip is adding a conversation piece to the space. Whether it's in artwork or a piece of furniture like these chairs. These are a huge conversation piece in the shop and would be in your home as well. One, because of its beauty. So many comments about just the shape of the chair, the fabric selections. People love this embroidered detail, very elegant looking, and it just draws people's eye to it, and it's something that they want to talk about because of it being something that's just a little out of the ordinary. Speaking of unusual, this chair is definitely unique and unusual and definitely a conversation starter. Why? Because it's bright, it's fun, it's colorful, it's whimsical,
It's soft and luxurious. It's comfortable to sit in. This is definitely one of those pieces that if you have it in your room, people are going to talk about it. And not in a way that they're like, oh my gosh, what did she just add to her room? But in a way that it's just fun. It's something that brings life to a space that might be falling a little flat. Don't make the mistake of having everything super matchy as far as color goes. Yes, we want cohesion in the color palette, but we do need those little pops of fun within the space to liven it up and brighten it up. Another designer tip or trick that we use to make spaces look larger with color is paint the ceiling the same color as the walls. Yes, I dare say paint the ceiling something other than white. If you paint the ceiling the same color as the walls, that continuation of the color against the walls, you don't see the definition from how tall the walls are, and it really truly makes the space look larger, even if you're using a darker color. If you say, nope, can't do it, have to leave my ceiling white, well, consider painting your trim the same color as your walls. This makes your eye go from floor to ceiling. We don't have those bands cutting off the wall from that color, and it goes straight up to the ceiling and can make an 8-foot ceiling, 9-foot ceiling look taller than it actually is. While we're on the subject of ceilings, a way to really make a space look custom and high design is doing detail on your ceiling. Think about adding architectural elements like this ceiling. Think about adding beams, maybe wallpaper the ceiling, or add an accent color to the ceiling. Doing details to the ceiling really elevate the design. All right, I hope these designer secrets, pro tips were helpful to you. Take them. Use them as little nuggets of information as you're working on your own space in your own home. If you have questions or comments, make sure you put those down below and we'll get back to you. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel as well. We appreciate every view, every comment, and every subscription we get. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.